Want to welcome everybody to the stream. And we want to give a big shout out to our panel sponsor, Discover Bank, for making all of this possible.
Shout out to Discover.
Big shout out to Discover. For those of you who are just tuning in, make sure you hit that follow button. If you're on Twitch, if you're on Facebook, make sure you like the stream. My name's Steven Sy. I'm the CEO of Futures First Gaming. Here with me, we have Malcolm Coley, who is our Chief Technology Officer. And today, our first panel is really to just focus on esports as a profession. We've talked a little bit about Futures First Gaming and us as a company and what our focus is, which is to, create opportunities for more kids, especially black and brown kids, to enter the STEM and technology esports space through gaming, coding, and entrepreneurship, right? But our panel today, we have the epitome of all of those, and we're excited to welcome all of our panelists today. So first, I'd like to welcome Gerard HipHopGamer Williams, our first guest. He fell in love with video games at the age of 4 years old. He's evolved his love of music and video games into a successful career in the industry, as well as being one of the most recognized figures in esports and gaming. I mean, he's even been immortalized in multiple video games, including Watch Dogs 2, NBA 2K Playgrounds 1 and 2, and others. And he will also be joining us for our second panel today to impart his wisdom all across, the topics that we're focused on, whether it's profession, whether it's teens, all of the above. So we're excited to have him here. And one thing he always says is he keeps it real. So, so please welcome Gerard HipHopGamer Williams.
Yo, you already know what it is, baby. That's what I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying? Feature first, one love and God bless. Let's get it popping. You already know I'm here. Let's get it. We lit, baby.
No doubt.
Go, son.
All right.
Our next featured guest, man, listen, I couldn't wait to talk to this gentleman. He's near and dear to Steve's heart, so that makes him near and dear to my heart too. But we have my guy Dale Harvey, Pain Chaos Space Marine. You heard me? Pain Chaos Space Marine. So they call him the Meat Popsicle. He is a creative cosplayer, designer, and maker. He's been doing this for 11 years and still having a great time. Man, listen, he can find a way to MacGyver a costume together and cosplay engineer it in a way that it stays in one piece longer than one day.
You gotta do it, baby. You gotta find a way to do it.
No doubt. Welcome. And he just so happens to be my brother. So, you see the resemblance. Big shout out. All right. And so our third guest, you've already seen him. You've already met him. But let's get a little bit more in depth with him. Is James Whitner from RSN Esportz. He is a husband. He is a father. He is a teacher. He is a coach. He is an HBCU graduate. He and his partners Jeremy Babb and Kevin Walker are part of that RSN Esportz family that we love so dearly. And he's been responsible for initiating the DC High School Esports League. And RSN has been running gaming programs through COVID-19 with students. He's a gaming mentor, and he's our good friend. And so we want to welcome you. Welcome, James.
Welcome.
Hey, what's good with y'all? What's good? Glad to be here.
No doubt. So,
Real.
So again,
wish I was in it.
No doubt. So again, before we get started, we just want to thank Discover Bank once again for sponsoring this panel and being a big supporter of Futures First Gaming and our Pandamonium 2020 event. So let's hop in, fellas. Let's talk. Let's talk esports. Let's talk gaming. Let's talk all the good stuff. We're gonna set the table, and then we're gonna dig in and ask y'all some questions, right? For those who are just tuning in, man, we talk about this all the time, man. Esports is a $159 billion global industry, man. There's so much opportunity there. There's so many jobs. There's the potential to do exactly what we're doing today, which is come on and talk about this, live stream, and make money doing this, right? And the beauty is that when we really talk about who's playing video games, everybody plays video games, but especially black youth play video games. 83% of black teens play video games, but unfortunately, less than 5% go pro or in the profession, some way, shape, or form, right? And we want to work to try to overcome that. That's kind of what we do at Futures First Gaming at RSN. We want to create career path opportunities because there are tons of professional opportunities in this industry, whether it's coding, entrepreneurship, becoming professional gamers, content creators, strategists, whatever the case may be. Like, there's a whole big web, right, of career opportunities that ties back to esports. So my first question is, when we try to really talk to our youth and help them to see that there are those opportunities out there, and it can be anybody, any one of them. Our first question for each of you guys, and Gerard, I'm gonna give this to you first. Tell us a little bit about your journey, man. Like, why you decided esports and gaming was something that you want to pursue as a profession. How'd you get into this, and then more importantly, why do you stay?
Got you. So the first thing is, shout out to my grandma's, rest in peace. She's the one who taught me how to play video games when I was 4 years old. So I've been playing video games all my life. So it was actually a part of my lifestyle coming up. So that's the first thing. Secondly, back to my grandmother, like, she taught me about life through video games. So she used it as a parallel. You know what I'm saying? To teach me, like, for example, in video games, you got objectives, levels, challenges, bosses that you got to defeat and stuff like that. So it is very similar to life and what you want to achieve, you know what I'm saying, with the different levels and objectives and things like that. So she used it as a parallel for me because she knew my passion was in games. So that was the first, like, seed that was planted. Then I was working in a mailroom, right? So in 2000, that's when I started working at the mailroom for every single record label. You know what I'm saying? Universal Music Group, Def Jam, Rockefeller, you name it. So when I was in the mailroom and stuff, shout out to my man Davey D at Universal Republic. He was like, "Yo, like, Hot 97 could really utilize, what you do, like, in gaming and stuff." So that's when the idea of hip hop, like gaming, I was like, yo, this could really work, because I started rapping when I was 14. So my lifestyle was built around hip hop and video games. So I didn't know how to make it a living, but it's something I was going to do anyway for free. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because I love what I do.
Mm-hmm.
So once I had the passion for it, I just kept doing it. So what happened is, the way I got in is I was watching G4 Tech TV, and Adam Sessler, Morgan Webb and all of them. And then it got to a point where I felt like the corporations started taking over their voice, and it wasn't authentic anymore. I wasn't feeling it anymore, because things that they were saying, like, real hardcore gamers wouldn't say. You know what I mean? So I was like, I wasn't feeling it. So I ain't gonna complain. I'm gonna create. So I started creating my own videos, and I got discovered by Torrance Davis. When I got discovered by Torrance Davis, that's what got me to E3. When I went to E3 in 2008 for that, for the first time, I managed to do some of the biggest interviews, in the industry, and it changed my life having that experience. So that's when I was like, yo, that's when I realized I can actually make a career here, because I learned a lot about the business in the industry side, as opposed to being a fan and just watching it on TV. You know what I'm saying? So right. I got a chance to build relationships on the inside. And once I did that, when I came home, that's when I started like, yo, like, I can put something together and build a business and build a brand around me. And the main thing I wanted to do was bring people to me. The reason why is because that first year I discovered that like 1% or maybe less than 1% of Black people was at E3. Like, seriously, in 2008, I was literally one out of like 4 like people that I literally seen. You understand? It's like 100,000 people. You know what I'm saying?
Tell everybody what E3 is for those that don't know.
Oh, all right. So E3 is like the Super Bowl of the gaming industry. It's a big convention. Everybody that's anybody in the industry of gaming is there, from developers to PR to marketing to animators. Everything that you need is at E3. You know what I'm saying? The board of directors, all of it, everything, lawyers, you name it. It's all there, okay? So when you're there, that's when you really got to make your moves and build your relationships and build your value there. So I went there in 2008. So when I did that and I came back, that's when I saw the vision. I was like, yo, Like I could really build this, and people knew who I was. So the problem was that back then, I was met with a lot of racism, even when I was there. And I was like, now I really see why people don't rock with this, because out the gate, you already feel like you don't belong. So my passion allowed me to take all the hits and take all the negativity, so that when other people come in, I'm like, yeah, he here and what? She here and what? We rocking. Let's go. Because I care too much about the culture to see it be railroaded by people that got money and power. Because you have money, you got power. That's true. But I got passion and I got results. And I feel like at the end of the day, if you don't have the passion, it ain't gonna work. So you really gotta love what you do and fight for it to be able to make people understand that this is for everyone, not just a certain group that gets seen all the time.
Bet. Yo, that was powerful, man. Like that's one of. Hey, you ain't lying. You keep it real, bro. Like,
yeah, man.
I mean, that's a point that we're definitely gonna come back to, that you talked about. You know, the level of racism and the level of lack of opportunity for people that look like us to actually fit in or feel like they fit in. So definitely, great point. Want to kick it over to Dale. Same thing. Same question for you, man. Like, tell us about your journey. Why did you get into this? How did you get into this? And you know, why is it something? Why do you stay?
Bruh. Okay. I just got to go with a HipHopGamer for a little bit. You hit the nail so squarely on the head. I've been doing this for so long, and we've been coming up against so many obstacles through all of those years, from the cosplay side of it, from the gaming side of it, from the representation side of it, and just the constantly, it's not even, sometimes it feels like we're just banging our face against this concrete brick wall, just trying to not even, get our foot in the door, but just to punch our fist through the wall, because that's what we have to do. And that passion, that's the type of passion that I've had since I first started this way back when. Like, for me, gaming started on the TRS 80. I'm probably older than the majority of the people on this panel. You know what I'm saying? So it's one of those situations where, my passion runs deep. And for me, my grandfather, when they first bought me that first computer, my grandfather came to me and he was pretty much just like, this is the future. Get on this, learn what's going on with this, and you will be able to parlay that into a career that's going to be able to sustain you throughout the rest of your life. So for me, that seed was planted very, very early. And I really do thank my grandfather for that foresight, because he had it before a lot of other people in our neighborhood, in our community had it. He was just like, you need this. So that's where it stems from for me. For me, and just to parlay that to something else. So I was blessed enough to go to college on a football scholarship. So for me,
big shout out to Penn State University, man.
Big shout out to Penn State. But the funny thing about it was, I didn't play football until I first got into high school, because I was always too big. And my first year, I struggled because I couldn't put it all together. I couldn't see how everything worked, how it all intertwined. But then that year after my freshman year, Madden came out. And over the summer, I sat there and I played that first Madden day in and day out. Madden literally taught me the ins and outs of football. And that next year when I came back, they were like, what happened? How do you now see it? How do you now put it all together? And I told them, I was like, I sat and I played a video game and worked my ass off in the weight room and running and all this. But on my spare time, I played this video game and we made it work. And I put it all together. So that literally helped me, even though I don't play Madden now, that literally helped me to get into college, to get my education, to do the things that I wanted to do. So, big shout out for that, because that's something I was able to parlay into that situation. So then you go into what I do now. So right now I am a designer, but also I'm a maker. Also, I create costumes. Also, I parlay that education and those lessons into anybody who wants to come up and ask me. A lot of times when we're at cons, people will come up and they'll be like, yo, your costume is dope, or yo, your cosplay is amazing. How did you do that? Well, 9 times out of 10, because I'm a bigger dude, I cosplay a lot of stuff from video games. So you take that video game passion, then you can translate it into heavy projects and big armor, then when people come up and ask you, it provides a learning opportunity. So then we take those learning opportunities and we plant those seeds in the people around us. And then as we plant those seeds in the people around us, then you'll come back 6 months later, or you'll come back a year later, and people will be like, yo, look at what I did. Yo, look at what I was able to research, what I was able to accomplish. And I'm like, that's what we have to do. We have to continuously plant those seeds, even in our youth. Like when the kids come up and they ask me questions, I love the kids. I love them because that curiosity is pure. You know what I'm saying? That like if they can overcome that initial fear of like, yo, what's that big dude over there? And then when I take my helmet off and they see that it's a brother, man, the way that the kids' eyes light up sometimes, it's just like, dude. And that representation is just like, I didn't know. You don't understand how many times that I've been out on the floor and kids have come up and they've been like, I didn't know we could do this. I didn't know that this is a thing that we as Black and brown kids could do. And I'm just like, I'm right here for you. And all my brothers and sisters who are out there who are doing it with me, we all set out to try and teach them that, hey, it's okay. You can be a geek, you can be a nerd, you can love video games, and you can turn that expression into not only what you see on the cosplayers that are there, but then those that stick around, I hip them to the fact that, oh, by the way, if you get good at this and you get good at your crafting, people will seek you out and they want to pay you for your work. And that's how you parlay it, and that's how you turn it all the way around to find your passion, get good at your artistry, get good at what you want to see, create your own style from it. And then it helps with the marketing if you could do it yourself, but people will seek you out and they'll be like, yo, can you make this for me? Yo, can you 3D print this for me? Oh, you've got a dope model. Can you make me a couple of those for that? And here and there, X, Y, and Z, little bits of cash come in here and there, and then it just starts to grow. So that's where we find ourselves at with it. That's where we take it. You know, there's so many different ways to spider into it. It doesn't just have to be, I'm good on the sticks. Be like, yeah, being good on the sticks is great, but there are different ways. Like we always used to say, if I can't walk in the front door, I'll kick the back door down, or I'll bust the window out with a brick to get into where I need to be. So there you go.
No doubt. Yo.
Facts. That was fire. Y'all clap it up for my dude Bell. That was fire, Bell. Fire. Let's go, James. Let's go, son. I'm waiting.
Hey, man. Y'all that set the flow up high. I'm telling you, like, I don't know what to say. You know, I will say, you know, like, because y'all definitely hit all the spots. Like, you know, just with y'all passion and everything that y'all been doing, you know, in the gaming industry. Like, you know, I don't know how old y'all are, but I could tell I'm the youngest one here. I'm 27. You know, you was talking about E3 at 08. You know, I was in 9th grade, I think. So it's just like, but I've always been a gamer, you know, just like y'all, you know, I've been gaming, you know, like I said, I think in the what's called, since I've been like, I think 2, you know, started off from Power Rangers to, you know, just Resident Evil to Tekken to, you know, literally I played every game that was out. You know what I'm saying? I had Game Sharks. I had like,
Facts.
I had all, you know what I'm saying? Like all, like anything that's games, that's me, you know, and then, but just like you said, Dale, like, as far as like being encouraged to do so and to keep doing it and to be encouraged to seek out the opportunities for it, you know, that was never presented to me, you know, so it was just me playing with some of my homeboys, you know, but when we get to school or when we get everywhere else, we ain't in no gaming club or nothing. We focusing on, you know, real stuff, you know, whether it's, you know, girls, traditional sports, you know, because we all play traditional sports, but we all play games with each other as well. You know, but we just, like I said, you know, I wish we had somebody to really push us, and I definitely would have gotten into esports probably 10 years ago, you know, but it's just like nobody ever really pushed us at all, you know, as far as gaming, because nobody knew the expertise and the actual, like, how far you could take gaming as far as helping somebody else literally in their life, you know, and I knew that it helped me because, you know, I was a first generation college student, and like, even just growing up, you know, like, I mean, I guess you could talk about, you know, one of the lowest income areas, you know, you ever been in, you know, and just like, I mean, I don't want to say too much about it, you know, I don't want to make it a sad story, but I'm saying like just sad stuff in a sense, you know, so I'm like being kicked out of a house, you know, being, you know, in the streets, you know, months at a time, sneaking in places, you know, just to live or whatever. But anytime I got to the computer lab in the library, whether I slept next to the library, if I got inside that library and played the game, or if I went inside there busting suds and in that laundromat and put that quarter in and played my Pac-Man real quick, hey, I'm good to go. It don't matter if I'm sleeping in the car. Let me get a quarter real quick so I can go ahead and play Pac-Man. You see what I'm saying? Let me get in another world real quick. And that's, it's different, because I know a lot of people don't live like that, but that was literally, how I live, from the younger part of my life anyway, up until I was like 10, 12, and then like, as like, I just grew up, moved to North Carolina, my grandmother really like, just like you on HipHopGamer, my grandmother really helped me out. She didn't teach me much about gaming, but she gave me that shelter and she gave me like, just that freedom and like those resources to do what I want to do, to get the games, and it just encouraged me to do a lot. So just fast forward, like I said, gaming, I use it for so many different things, whether it's mentoring, stress reliever. I tell people I play football as stress reliever. I play games as stress relief as well, and like all of that, even through college, like it was just doing it. And then so like fast forward to now, I want to say like 3 years ago, me and some of the other co-hosts, Jeremy Bow, Kevin Walker, we knew that gaming would be essential for the kids, as we all know. Y'all realized it way before me. But I knew it. And when it clicked in my head, I knew that I wasn't wrong about that thought, because I knew how it affected me as a kid, right? And I knew how it changed me and it encouraged me and it gave me another sense of reality as a kid, in a sense. Like I said, I'm playing in the game. It don't matter where I'm standing. I'm thinking I'm in the Legend of Zelda. You see what I'm saying? I'm thinking I'm in the castle. You know what I'm saying? I'm thinking I'm living good. All I know is, okay, I might not have your shoes now. I might not have your stuff now, but wait till I get my upgrade though. Wait till I beat this boss and level up. You know what I'm saying? Then what? And I stay with that mindset. Some people call it childish. Some people call it what they want, but for me, it's still a steadily progressive, mindset for me. To really know that, okay, if I'm not there yet, all I got to do is face a couple obstacles, beat a couple bosses, and then I'm gonna beat it. You see what I'm saying? And then so like, just going into RSN, it's just like, once I knew that impact it made me as a kid, I knew I had to help other kids in low income communities. And so like a lot of my students, some of them are homeless, and it's just like the neighborhood that they stay in, some of them, have bad situations, both parents might be in a horrible situation, but they need something else. They might not be the biggest guy or the smartest girl, they not excelling at anything else almost. So it's like, how can you really get them on track? You see what I'm saying? And it's literally like, it's so many avenues with esports or gaming, whether you're a cosplay designer, you might not game a lot, but you very creative. We got a lot of young ladies who can make anime, and that's what they do. We got kids who actually play the game. We got kids who actually want to stream and do our recording side of it. So it's just like so many opportunities we try to give these kids, basically a gateway, and an outlet from the things that's happening in their community.
Oh man, yo, give him a shout out, yo. Definitely.
Much love, Big J.
Absolutely. Wow. Go to down.
So I'm gonna ask this question for the panel. We're gonna start with Dale, right, and then we're gonna go across. So how in you guys' opinion, right? How has the gaming industry evolved in the past 5 years? Like, me and Steve, we have these conversations all the time, and even my guy Nudie, we have these conversations all the time where we're talking about technology and specifically AI, VR. You got the Oculus. I also we always talk about lowering the barriers of entry for our kids to get into gaming. So we talk about mobile gaming a lot, right? So in your own words, how has gaming evolved in the past 5 years? I'm going to start with Dale.
No problem. All right. So how has gaming evolved in the last 5 years? Gaming has evolved in a couple of areas, but it has retreated in a few as well. And what we'd like to do with is it's evolved in narrative. So what I mean by that is the storytelling and the way that storytelling is done, not only through a verbal narrative, but also through an artistic narrative, also through a musical narrative. In the past 5 years, I have seen the production values and the quality of music in games increase to a level that sometimes a game is lauded as being amazing simply because the music is amazing. Not because of the gameplay, but because of the experience that you get through the music is so impactful that it leaves a absolute mark on that individual who is playing. And then you couple that with narrative, and then if you can couple that with some of the advances in gameplay mechanics that we have seen, then you're starting to see gaming step up to the level whereas I thought that it would be probably 10 years ago. But now we're starting to get there with the advances in technology, with graphics, with the whole package. You're starting to get there. What I've seen it, where I've seen it actually retreat a little bit is with the lack of original IPs and ideas. And that is something that for me as a long-term gamer, I see the situation as being you're rehashing a lot of ideas that were around 10 or 15 years ago. And it's because corporations are very risk adverse. They look at their libraries and they say, okay, this is a situation and this is something that sold very, very well. Well, now can we go back to the well and double dip on that? Can we make a remaster of that so we can ensure those profits? It's rare that you start to see companies and big studios nowadays take a risk on a new IP. And when you do see it, it's either going to be a situation where the IP blows up and it's amazing, or people just feel that it's meh and it's mediocre. And the main difference that you have with that, the majority of the people on this panel, I can probably say this too, and it'll resonate. Back when we were coming up and we were gaming, there weren't as many voices. There weren't as many people in your ear telling you, oh, this is shit and you shouldn't play it, or this is garbage and you shouldn't play it. Right. There weren't so many opinions that made you easily swayed, or those who were easily swayed to make their minds up for them. It just wasn't a thing. Back when we were coming up, we were lucky to get a game, and then we would play that game into the floor, and then we would make our own opinion about whether the game was great or not. We didn't have people telling us whether the game was great or not. It was a situation of taste and see. Okay, let me go ahead and try this, and then I'll make my own opinion. Nowadays, we have so many people making opinions for us that it kind of gets in the way, and then you just get all this noise, this reverb constantly going on about everything, every nitpicking thing. I'm just like, as me myself, I find myself a lot of times on stream, just like, dudes, can we just enjoy the game for what it is? There's like a really popular meme that goes around every now and then when a new game is released, where it's like there's this one dude yelling, talking about, oh, this game has X, Y, and Z, and there's a group of people playing around the screen enjoying it, and this one dude is just constantly yelling like, it's bad, you shouldn't be enjoying yourself, and everybody sitting down is just like, F you, dude, I'm having fun, shut up, go talk somewhere else amongst yourselves. So in the past 5 years, those are the things that I have seen mature. Those are the things that I've seen basically multiply. And as we continue to gravitate towards gaming as a medium and gaming as a profession, that is something that we're constantly going to have to put our own personal filter on to try and strain out sometimes, because there's wheat amongst that chaff, but sometimes there's just people in the background just constantly throwing chaff at you, and it's very hard to find that wheat. So there you go.
Yo,
that's facts, super facts. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say, one of the things you touched on, Dale, was, how the industry's evolved, but how it's regressed, or how it's had some challenges as well that have come up. So this question for you, Gerard, like, what are the biggest challenges that you see in the esports industry at the moment, and how can we overcome some of those challenges that you identify?
One of the biggest challenges is that it's not cool. See, the thing is, like, cool factor plays a major role in everything, especially when it comes to us. So if you think about it, my name is HipHopGamer, right? So when you think about hip hop, or when you think about basketball, stuff like that, why you think we all flock to that? Like, you know what I'm saying? Because like they made it cool. Like, and this is what I don't like, because like a lot of times they glorify negativity, but you see the money and you see the girls and then you fly. So it's cool to be a part of that. So a lot of times certain people don't even want to be a rapper or do certain things, but if they see these results, then they'll just do anything just to be a part of it because it's cool. It's like their high school mentality. So with esports, right now, it's like, wow, there's a lot of money being made, and and now you see HBCUs, everybody trying to like get involved, or these companies is investing to try to get involved. But the problem is everybody is on it because of what they're trying to get out of it, not because they genuinely care about what it can really do for people. Like, you know what I'm saying? How it can really help. So I think one of the issues with esports is that they leaving out one of the most important parts of what gaming culture is. And that is one, representation, more so across the board. And what I mean by that is, if you look at a lot of the broadcasts, right? Whether it's Overwatch, League of Legends, or whatever it is, when you look at a lot of broadcasts and how you get your information and stuff like that, it don't come from us, but you'll see us play. You know what I'm saying? You'll see us play, but you don't see us in the other areas in a dominant fashion as well. So it can be shared collectively correctly. So that's one thing that's missing. But the thing is, it has to have cool factor to it to make people feel like, yo, I want to be a part of this. I want to support this. This is cool. I can make money. I can help people. That right there needs to be in the forefront instead of in the back end. And I think that right there is the difference maker. I know this for a fact because I've had conversations with pretty much like all the major companies. And one thing I can tell you on the back end is, when it comes to certain games or whatever, oh, a lot of black people like that game, so let's reach out to them. Like, it's, you know what I'm saying? It's very like serious. Or they'll be like, oh, I don't see a lot of bad people, playing League of Legends, so let's avoid them. And then, or if it's like, if you look at like Louis Vuitton in League of Legends, how they came together with that. Oh, well, we could probably get a lot of rappers because I see them talk about Louis. So now let's plug them in. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, so it's strategic on their end on how can I just, it's like playing chess, or like, playing with puppet strings. Like, how can I just move this? Yeah. But there's nothing genuine about it. So I think one of the biggest problems is when we come in to try to actually make a real impact, they don't care about that because there's no bottom line value in the genuine impact. And that's the problem. A genuine impact has to come along with something valuable, and that's creating the factor of making it cool to be a part of it, so we can champion it. So when you're in the hood or wherever you at, instead of always talking about, oh, yo, Cardi B said this, and whap, 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 and we popping, and we you're in the club and blah, blah, blah. Now we can make it cool to be like, yo, we need to support this esports joint, or let's do this, let's do that, and do it for the culture of it. And then the money will come. Like, it'll come. But if you just doing it because you see $159 billion, oh, we need to be into it. Now your motive is already wrong. You're going to ruin the money that you could actually get because you're going to have momentary gains, but you're not going to have long-term gains and stuff like that. And then you're going to blame esports for not being good to you. So now you out back doing to what you're doing, and now it's not cool no more. Facts. So the answer to that question, sorry to be long-winded. The answer to that question is, we got to come together to make sure that when people see this, when kids see or whatever it is, they know that it's something also cool to be a part of. And you can make money with it. You can help people. You can have fun. And nobody's going to look at you like, oh, he ain't cool, so don't rock with them. They're like, yo, this is amazing. How do I be part of it? Changing that narrative.
Yeah. I mean, we talk about this all the time, right? And a couple of points that you made, is that, there's representation when you play, but not when you doing all the other production or the broadcasting and all that, right? And so part of, our company and RSN's focus is to provide these opportunities to kids so they can learn how to do it, and they see that it's cool, just like you said. But this is a question, and this for anybody. Anybody can take this right now. But, why is it that more people of color are not represented in the industry? You talked a little bit, Gerard, about, from a corporation standpoint,
I can answer that easy.
The marketing focus and whatnot.
We got answers.
Yeah, but why any of y'all, go ahead. Why is it?
I'll probably start just because I start with with my young answer. I said that y'all could tell me about the longevity. But as far as me being, a young person, like I said, in middle school, in high school, during the time that, I guess esports is starting to really rise. You know, and when you look at it now, like a lot of the young people who in the industry, or a lot of the famous people, like even Booker who won Fortnite, he what, 16, 15? You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of the best players ain't but between 18 to like maybe 25 to 30. You know, you might have Dr. Respect who whatever, you know, but as far as me, you know, it's just like it's so different, man. It's just like with gaming and like the things that just, you know what I'm saying, that just brought me into it. I don't know. I don't even know how to really put it. I'm gonna let you guys go first.
It's all good, James. It's all good. Hip
It's
hop gamer. Go
crazy,
ahead. Hit them
man.
all. Break them
All
all,
right.
man.
So I got you, Jay.
He got the
so,
he got the knowledge.
You know what I'm saying? I got you, Jay. So one of the main issues to me, why you don't see, not just to me, but period, I'm gonna tell you two things with me and one thing in general. One thing with me, right? When I first came in the industry, I was getting really, really big, really, really fast. Like there was this website called N4G.com, and N4G, if I'm not mistaken, is backed by CBS Interactive. So you have millions of dollars invested in certain sites, but that particular site was an opportunity for anybody that got good stories to get recognition, because not everybody had a job at IGN or GameSpot or all these other major places, right? So I was blowing up on N4G to the point where I was the only person that was a black face majorly represented on N4G, and I was like on fire every week, and then it started becoming every day, right?
Mhm.
And then I got banned, and I was like, and what's so crazy is, my story started to miraculously go away, but then I would see other companies like a Kotaku or somebody else take the stories that I had, and now they're getting the traffic and the recognition for stuff that I broke on that particular site. So then now it's like, what's going on? So that very year, I think it was 2012, if I'm not mistaken, I was at E3, and good friend of mine, but he had to tell me what was going on, but he trusted me not to say anything because he could have his job, he could lose his job based off what he told me, which is messed up, right? But anyway, what happened is he was telling me that look at me and look at the industry. Like you come, like when they look at you, it looks very intimidating and stuff like that. And someone like you, and you look around you, they don't want you in that position. I'm not even supposed to be telling you this, but I noticed because it was told to me in meetings. Because the people that I talk to, a lot of them is high level executives, but I got good relations with them, so they'll tell me information and they trust me with it. So what's so sad is that systematically, the forefront has to look a certain way, but from a bottom line standpoint, 67% of minorities is what drive the entire game industry globally. 67%. So it's one of those situations that Damon Dash always talk about. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Damon Dash. And for those that don't know Damon Dash, look him up. You'll learn. You know, Rockefeller, Jay-Z, all this other stuff. But yeah, you know what I'm saying?
no doubt.
But the thing
Yeah.
is, it's one of those situations where we're good enough for you to benefit from the culture and the energy that we create, but we're not good enough to be the faces to deliver the message to the world so they see that it actually came from us. And that right there is systematically done, and it's done like that for a reason. It's not fair, but that's how it is. So now the way to change that, and which is sad, but the way to change that is for people to say, you know what? Like, if we don't demand change from ourselves, then how can we expect change from others? So I know we love games. I know we want things, but there's organizations in the gaming industry, like the IGDA and IGDAF and all these other, like you got Blacks in Gaming, you got the ESA, you got all these different organizations. That's who we got to target to really get change, because those companies are in the power to hold them accountable for their bottom line. And when we go to them to create the change, all of a sudden, to your point, when you asked about the 5-year change, how things evolve, one way is look at what just got announced with Facebook, like a $10 million initiative specifically for Black creators. You understand what I'm saying? Nobody else but black creators,
Yep.
$10 million invested, so we could get paid to do what we do and grow our area so we can have a voice in it, right? So now what that does is YouTube, Twitch, everybody, what are you going to do? You got to meet the challenge now. What are you going to do? And then that's how we start to systematically, start to change. The only problem is we can't take our foot off the gas. We got to keep going now that we're seeing these things change. But to your point, to your answer, it was always done like that for a reason, and it's sad. But now things are slightly starting to change. We just got to push the energy and know where to target.
We got to capitalize on that momentum, man, and the opportunity that's coming, man. Dale, what were you gonna say?
James, did you have anything? Because I didn't want to. I
ain't even gonna stay too long. I'm gonna do like 2-3 minutes, so I know you're gonna blow it away. But what HipHopGamer said, he literally just said it. Like the just the lack of opportunities, the lack of resources, the lack of encouragement. It's just like it was nobody there, nobody around letting me know that this could be a door. I'm saying, let me know that this could be an opportunity at all, like not even a short, small type of opportunity. I'm saying? We had no clubs, we had no rep, none of that. So literally, gaming is just when I'm from, in the country, like you said, majority black areas, gaming is just for fun, just for entertainment, and that's it. There's no other way that you can, portray gaming. So it's like for the kids,
I'm sorry to interject, but I wanted to say something very important.
Good.
One of the problems too, because I'm big on facts and I'm big on accountability as well. But it's a sad thing when people be like, "Yo, games is just for kids. Leave that alone." Like, you know what I'm saying? That's one.
Right.
And then like in your own home, you know what I mean? And then secondly, like let's say you're trying to holler at some girls or whatever, you're trying to be cool. And then a lot of the girls, because you got a lot of girls that game, black females that game. My girl, Red Infamy, is amazing. She's a hardcore gamer too, gaming before I was. She started when she was 30. So the point I'm trying to say is there's girls out there that go hard with the games, but then you got a lot of girls that be like, yo, seriously, dude, all you game, blah, blah, blah. So now, you trying to holler at girls, and certain girls is like, yo, put that away. And then now you leave it alone because because that hood mentality. So just to say,
all of that tied in.
So just to say that, like what Dale was talking about earlier, when you passionate about something, you gotta protect it. You gotta protect your passion. You know what I'm saying? You can't let that noise enter in your world. You understand? Because that same girl that would be like this, you pull up in a Ferrari because of a game you've been selling and all this other stuff, it's going to be real different. The energy going to be real different. Right. So at the end of the day, what I'm just trying to say is protect your passion. And no matter where it comes from, if you have a destination, you go to it. Yeah, I just wanted to say that. Sorry.
Yeah, no doubt. No
doubt.
No,
that's perfect.
One of the things Malcolm and I always talk about too, and then sorry, Dale, I don't want to cut you off, but it's just sort of the whole discrepancy between console gaming and PC gaming, right? A lot of our people play consoles. A lot of other cultures play PCs. And where's the big money right now? The big money is the companies that are investing in the PCs because the return on investment is greater, especially for those companies. But it's like you look at the opportunities. A lot of people that I know from my neighborhood couldn't even fathom playing a video game on a PC, right? It's, let me get the Nintendo, let me get the PlayStation, let me get the whatever. But when you say, yo, I game on a PC because I can do so much more, and translate that into content and translate that into a stream like this, like we need more people to understand that, especially our people, because that's, that's where the opportunity lies. Yeah, consoles nowadays, especially the new 5s and the Series X's, they can do so much more. They're replicating PCs, but if we can get more people into PCs, you know what I mean, they have even greater opportunity. And PC gaming wasn't cool. Console gaming was, but PC wasn't.
Right. No, you're right. And honestly, when you kind of sit back and you look at this, you look at it and you literally start to say from the come up, what is your resource base? What is you pretty much play and you deal with what you can get your hands on. Okay. Right. So when we look at that and we start to look at that, like you said, consoles were accessible mass market. That's the way that they are designed. Like you said, PCs, you got to put a little bit more into that. You got to put a little bit more money. You got to constantly upgrade. There's a lot of things going on there, and that barrier to entry, while not one that you kind of sit there and you think about, if you're one to look a little bit deeper and you start to look at some other stuff that we're not talking about right now, you can kind of start to see what the deal was.
Bro, let's talk about it. That's why we're
No,
here.
bro, we don't have enough time.
Yeah, I
Because
know.
we would be here for 3 to 4 hours talking about that BS. So that's why I'm just like, we got to do this on another stream or another panel, because we can't do that right now.
No doubt.
When you talk about representation, I want to put this out there right now. So when you look at your major esports teams, when you look at representation, when you look at quote unquote the best players in the world, when you look at that and you see what is represented, I'm not sure if you guys feel this way, but I kind of sit there and say to myself a lot of times when I'm looking at these teams and the team makeups, I'm just like, did y'all guys even look in the hood? Did y'all guys even look to see who's doing what in these neighborhoods and what these kids can do? Because y'all are sleeping on a whole talent base. And I have this really good feeling in my heart that, like with Future First Gaming and with other esport leagues that are kind of looking in these neighborhoods that are being neglected, there's some juggernauts in there that are going to be found.
Oh, yeah.
And there's some juggernaut teams that are going to be put together.
No doubt.
And they're going to shock the world. And the simple reason why is because, like HipHopGamer said, like James said, they don't see dollar signs, they don't see investment material in these areas. And it's there. You just kind of you got to just look for it a little bit more. Because think about it like this. If you go way back, when you talk about traditional sports, all right, if you want to talk about football, traditional football, how many years was it before African Americans were allowed on the field? What happened as soon as you let African Americans and minorities on the field? We changed the entire game.
Facts.
And we evolved it, and we pushed it forward. And I do believe that the same thing is going to happen as soon as we get more representation from our African American, our Latino, our POC communities, our indigenous communities. I think that there is so much talent, and I think that's probably one of the big things that esports really doesn't have right now. They don't have a comprehensive scouting system. They don't have a way, because bottom line, here's what I promise you. Not every kid that's out there that's a phenom is streaming. Not every kid that's out there that is naturally talented, you know what I mean, is doing so in a public sphere. They are doing it at home, sitting there. I guarantee you there's kids sitting in their living room playing League of Legends that are mopping the floor with people. And then when you pull back the cover on that, what you're going to see is, oh, it's a person of color. It's a minority. And then it goes into what HipHopGamer was saying. Oh, well, that's not the demographic. That's not the picture that we want as the face of our community.
Can I? Dell, I gotta cut in. What
Go ahead,
you
man.
just said was golden, and to prove my point to you, right? So y'all know that game Fable?
Yep.
Okay. So the last Fable that was supposed to be made, right? The reason why they had problems internally is because on the front, and I think the developers wanted this, but the publishers and the people that's in control of the money didn't. The front cover of Fable was supposed to be a black female. A Fable, one of the biggest RPGs. It was supposed to be a black female on the front cover of Fable. And they said, that's not going to sell. We're not going to do it. And boom. So the point I'm trying to say, even that right there, there's a ton of other things that has happened. We don't got enough time to get into. But I'm living proof of a lot of things because I know what personally has happened to me. I know what has happened to other people, like factual stuff. I even got some email trails. So the point I'm trying to say is everything you just said, Dale, was so spot on, because think about this for a second. When it comes to PC, right? the amount of money you got to spend to get into that in comparison to what you spend to a console. On PC, you can make your streams look a certain way, do certain things, add certain things. On console, when you stream from console, you can only stream to one location at one time because they don't have restream built into the console like how you can utilize on PC. So just the culture of what you can achieve on PC naturally in business and branding and everything you can't do on console because the tools ain't built on console. You understand what I'm saying?
We would be here forever.
Yeah.
Yeah. So just
Yo,
yeah.
this is definitely.
Dale, continue going on. I'm sorry to interject, but I just had to say that to
I'm gonna have
support
to
your
do another
statement,
meeting
bro.
with y'all.
Yo, this is definitely going to be continued, fellas. Like we can talk for days. I mean, but in the interest of time, I think we're going to need to wrap it up soon. So I think Malcolm's got one more question for each of you guys that can that's specifically designed for our viewers.
Yeah, we gotta run this back for real. So, fellas, in your own words, what is one piece of practical advice that you would give to somebody that's starting out? You know what I mean? If they're starting out on their esports journey and they want to turn this into a career, they want to be a content creator and they want to make it happen. What is one practical piece of advice that you would give to somebody that's just starting out?
Okay. I'll start with that. The first thing that I would say is know what you want to do. First thing, know exactly what you want to do and put your focus and your energy on that. Don't be too all over the place. Find something that you love, that you want to do. That's the first thing. Second thing is get around people that's in the same field that you're in that's actually doing it to build relationships with the right people because that's going to get you your connections. That's going to start building your network. You're going to start to get known that way, which is going to open door for other opportunities for you to achieve your goal. The third thing I will tell you is make sure that whatever you do, I always look at this from a standpoint of PlayStation, Xbox, and Nintendo. What do you bring to the table that nobody else in the world can do? So if you look at PlayStation, if I want to play The Last of Us 2, if I want to play God of War, I got to go to PlayStation.
Mm-hmm.
I want Mario, I got to go to Nintendo. If I want Gears of War, I got to go to Xbox, and PC, whatever. But you know what I'm saying. You know the point I'm trying to make.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever it is that you bring to the table, that only you bring to the table, make sure that that is your highlight. So when people see you, they realize that they need you and you only in order to pull it off. So when you look at Dell and what he creates and his skill set and cosplay and stuff like that, he's bringing something to the table that only Dell can do. When you do that, you become exclusive to the market. You know what I'm saying? That's when it's like, no matter who else is in the world, if I want this, I got to go to him. You want to have that. And lastly, make sure LinkedIn and all these other social platforms is your best friend. Like for real. Because a lot of times that's where you're going to find your next network move.
Cool. How about you, James?
Yeah, I ain't gonna say too much. He hit everything on the nail. Just definitely make sure it's your passion. Stay connected with people who are around you as far as like positive influences, right? That's really gonna help you be the person you want to be. And join the Discord, right? Join the FFG Discord, join the RSN Discord. Stay connected with groups and follow HipHopGamer, right? Follow people who really trying to be on the path that you want to be. Not saying you want to mimic them, but you taking note. Right, so that you can know, okay, boom, 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 adding this to my skill set along with what's me, so that I can be what I want to be. Just really doing what you need to do, and knowing that gaming is not just a game, right? Find what's in the game that really attracts you and what can attract people like
you. But how about you, Dale?
All right. So first thing I got is, once again, passion. If you are not passionate, if you are not willing to work harder and more so, if you're not willing to work smarter than the people that are around you, then you're going to have a very rough time of it. Passion will push you when you start to stream and you only have 1, 2, 3 people watching you stream. Passion will push you through that part where you've got to overcome that hump because you feel that nobody is supporting you or nobody's there for you. You've got to have that passion to say, you know what, dudes, I understand that it's rough right now, and this is a problem that a lot of the young minority people that I find they have. If the success doesn't come instantly, then they fall off. They fall off their grind, and that passion will sustain you to continue to push through that grind. Trust me, even at my age, even as long as I've been doing it, you still got to grind, because the forces that are there against you, the forces that are there, even from our own communities, that will sit there and that will talk at you, talk down to you, talk to you like you don't know what the hell you're talking about. That will, every time that you put something out there that is creative or that is new, the communities that are around you that will literally sit there and say, oh, that's garbage. That's a piece of shit. You don't know what you're doing. You have to work through that, because you know what? You have a particular taste. You have a particular vision. And those are the things that make you unique. And those are the things that will put you on, because nobody will ever do you like you. Woo! Nobody will have the talent that you do like you do. And if you don't believe in yourself, and if you don't have that passion to grind through what we call the valley of despair, if you can't get through that valley of despair by believing in yourself and finding a couple people that, you know, be it family, be it people that you love, just somebody behind you, just one person, even if it's one of us, if you need to reach out to and be like, hey, I don't think I can do this. Each and every person on this panel will come to you and will tell you, F that, you can do it. You just have to find your way within yourself to get there, because we can't give that to you. We can give you all the support in the world. We believe in you. We believe in each and every one of you out there. All those kids out there that are struggling, we believe in you. We know this gaming garbage. We know how esports work, because we know how to make it through that valley of despair. Even if we're still walking on the upward climb ourselves, we've been through the lowest part of it. We faced the institutional racism. We faced the systemic bullshit. We have faced all that stuff that you're going to face. And we can tell you, fight through, because it's better on the other side. Keep your passion.
Let's go.
Keep your passion.
Oh,
Hey,
yo, I need that
I
whole
knew Dale was gonna
soundbite
take
right
it home.
there.
I told you he was gonna take it home. That's why I wanted him to go last.
Take it home, bro.
Yeah, man.
Dudes, I am sorry.
I
I don't mean to preach. I just have passion about
Preach
it.
on.
You know.
You preach, man, but I love it, man. Every second of that.
Man.
Listen,
Right.
listen, fellas,
Dang.
man. Look, we just want to thank you all for joining us today here at Pandamonium 2020. Obviously, this has been a crazy year, but to be able to connect with you all, fellowship with you all, game with you all, and talk about how we can move the culture forward, man. It's been one of the highlights of our year here.
And
at
we
FFG.
gotta let them know what happened yesterday.
Oh,
was it 2 days ago?
Yes, 2 days ago, fellas. Just and chat and viewers. Futures First Gaming was nominated for a technically business of the year for the state of Delaware. So
Wow.
yeah, thank you.
Congratulations,
Thank
big
you.
bro.
Big up.
Thank you.
Big up.
Yeah, we're really excited about it. You know, it's been a team effort, man. We couldn't have done it without the whole FFG squad, our partners, at RSN. I mean, you guys, your support as our panelists. And we ask everybody to please look in the chat and go vote for us for Business of the Year.
Yeah, definitely
show
go
us
vote for it, man.
show us
Vote,
some
go
love
vote.
because we're trying to do exactly what we talked about in this whole panel, which is change the face of esports to be more representative of people that look like us and can bring our skills and talents to this. So on behalf of Futures First,
right here.
on behalf of Futures First Gaming, man, we truly appreciate y'all. Gerard, I know we'll see you
later on.
This
5
afternoon
o'clock,
at 5:00. But thank you so much to all of our panelists, Dale Harvey, Gerard HipHopGamer Williams, and James Whitner. Please, thank you, and give them a big round of applause.
Always, brother.